They offered love and found death. Millbrook Inn's 43 graves. They offered love and found death. The Millbrook Inn once promised warmth, comfort, and a place for weary travelers to rest, but beneath its quiet charm lay a truth darker than night. Behind those walls, whispers of betrayal, obsession, and unspeakable cruelty grew louder. Guests checked in, but never checked out. Today, 43 graves mark the land, each one a silent witness to the horrors that unfolded here. Who were they? Lovers seeking a future, families chasing peace, strangers simply looking for shelter, all of them bound together in death. The question remains, what really happened inside the Millbrook Inn? Was it madness? Was it evil? Or was it something else that claimed so many lives? One thing is certain, the echoes of their final screams still haunt the halls, and the shadows of those 43 graves will never let the world forget. This is the story of the Millbrook Inn, where love was offered and death was found. Life is fragile. Those 3 words carry more weight than we often realize. We live each day as though tomorrow is guaranteed, as though the people around us will always be there, and as though our own story is far from its final chapter. But the truth is, life can change in a single breath, a single moment, a single heartbeat. And it is in that realization, the fragile nature of our existence, that we can discover the true urgency of living with purpose. Think about how much time we spend worrying about things that will never matter in the end. Arguments that could have been forgiven, dreams we keep delaying, words of love we keep inside. We tell ourselves we will get to it tomorrow, or next week, or one day when the timing feels right. But life does not promise us that kind of time. Every graveyard in the world is filled with stories that were never finished, goals that were never reached, and love that was never spoken out loud. Life is fragile. That means every single second matters more than we think. Every sunrise is a gift we did nothing to earn, and every breath is a reminder that we are still here, still given a chance to make something meaningful out of this short existence. We are not owed tomorrow, and that is why today is so powerful. When you accept the fragility of life, you stop taking it for granted. You begin to see people differently. You notice the small details you once ignored, the way someone smiles when they're truly happy, the sound of laughter shared between friends, the comfort of knowing someone cares enough to check in. You learn that these are not small things at all. They are life itself, and one day they will become the memories we hold on to when time has taken everything else away. The fragility of life is not meant to scare us. It is meant to wake us up. It is meant to remind us that if we want to love, we should love now. If we want to forgive, we should forgive now. If we want to chase that dream, take that risk, speak those words, or make that change, we should do it now. Waiting for the perfect moment is an illusion, because the perfect moment may never arrive. All we ever truly have is this moment right here, right now. Think about it. Somewhere in the world right now, someone's life is ending. Their story is closing its final chapter. Maybe they had plans for tomorrow. Maybe they thought they had more time, and yet time slipped away as it always does. One day, that will be us. One day, our name will be spoken in the past tense. Our faces will fade from photographs, and the world will move on. What will matter then? Not the money we made, not the possessions we owned. What will matter are the lives we touched, the love we gave, and the courage we showed in living fully. Life is fragile, and yet that is exactly what makes it so beautiful. Imagine if we lived forever, if we had an endless number of days. Would we truly value them, or would we waste them even more recklessly than we do now? It is the very fact that life ends that gives it meaning. The clock is always ticking, and that is why each moment shines brighter than gold. Diamonds are precious because they are rare. So are our days. So are our lives. There is a story in every cemetery, and none of them thought their time would be up so soon. Some of them thought they still had years. Some thought they still had decades. But they didn't, and neither will we. That realization should not bring despair. It should bring clarity. It should inspire us to live in a way that when our time does come, we leave no words unspoken, no love ungiven, no dream unchased. Life is fragile. That means we must be intentional. We must stop treating our days like they are infinite. We must stop living on autopilot, going through the motions as though this is just practice. This is not practice. This is the only game we get to play, the only story we get to write. Every morning you wake up, you are holding something priceless in your hands. Another day, another chance to try again, another opportunity to become who you were meant to be. And the truth is, one day you will wake up, and it will be your last. You may not know it, but it will be. That is why today should never be wasted. So what does it mean to live like life is fragile?
It means to be present, to put down the phone and actually listen when someone speaks, to tell people you love them, not just assume they know, to take risks that scare you because fear is temporary, but regret lasts forever. It means not waiting until tomorrow to do what your heart is asking you to do today. It means creating, sharing, building, giving, and above all, living in a way that honors the time you've been given. Life is fragile, and that means we must also be grateful. Grateful for the mornings we get to see the sun rise, grateful for the nights we get to sleep in peace, grateful for every hug, every laugh, every tear, every lesson, every moment that reminds us we are alive. Gratitude turns fragility into strength. It allows us to stop focusing on what we don't have and start cherishing what we do. And when we live with gratitude, we no longer fear the end of life, because we know we have truly lived while we had the chance. There is a saying, you can't add more days to your life, but you can add more life to your days. That is what embracing life's fragility is all about. It's not about fearing death, it's about honoring life. It's about refusing to sleepwalk through existence, refusing to waste the limited time you've been given. It's about squeezing meaning out of every day, so that when the end does come, you can face it without regret, without hesitation, and without wishing you had lived differently. Life is fragile. You can't control how long you live, but you can control how deeply you live. You can't control when your last day will be, but you can control what kind of story your days will tell. And you can't control how the world will remember you, but you can control the legacy you leave behind, in the hearts you've touched, the kindness you've shared, and the courage you've shown. So take nothing for granted. Hug the people you love a little tighter, speak your truth a little louder, chase your dreams a little harder, because the clock is ticking, and none of us know when it will stop. But while it's ticking, while we are still here, we have the gift of life. Fragile, yes, but beautiful beyond measure. Life is fragile. That's exactly why we must live it with everything we have. Love is powerful, more powerful than money, more powerful than fame, more powerful than anything else we chase in this world. Love has the ability to heal wounds that nothing else can reach. Love can turn strangers into family, enemies into friends, and hopelessness into courage. When we speak about power, we often think of strength, control, or domination. But the greatest power this world has ever known lies in the ability to give and receive love. Think about it. Every human being, no matter where they come from, no matter what they believe, no matter what they have or don't have, longs for one thing: love. It is the invisible force that drives almost everything we do. People go to war, people make peace, people build cities, people write songs, people risk their lives, all in the name of love. It shapes the way we live, the way we dream, and the way we remember our time on this earth. Without love, life feels empty, shallow, and incomplete. With love, even the darkest moments can carry light. Love is powerful because it changes people. A person filled with hate can be softened by love. A person broken by failure can be rebuilt by love. A person who has lost hope can find it again through the love of another. It has the power to transform us from the inside out, to make us kinder, more patient, more forgiving, and more alive. Where anger destroys, love builds. Where fear paralyzes, love empowers. Where bitterness divides, love unites. There is nothing in this world more transformative than the presence of love. But love is not just about romance. It is bigger than that. Love is in the bond between a parent and child, the friendship that feels like home, the compassion a stranger shows when they don't have to. Love is the reason we get back up when life knocks us down, because there are people counting on us, people who believe in us, people who need us. Love is the reason we push through challenges, because we want to create a better life for those we care about. When everything else fails, love remains the anchor that holds us steady. Love is powerful because it outlives us. Money fades, status fades, possessions fade, but love leaves a legacy. The way we loved others, the kindness we showed, the sacrifices we made, those remain long after we are gone. Long after people forget what we said or what we did, they will remember how we made them feel. That is the imprint of love, a mark that time cannot erase. Love is the only wealth that cannot be stolen, the only treasure that grows the more we give it away. Too often we underestimate the power of love because it seems simple. We think power must be loud and commanding, something that forces the world to listen. But the quietest acts of love are sometimes the most powerful. A gentle word spoken in the right moment can save a life. A simple act of kindness can restore someone's faith in humanity. A hug, a smile, a reminder that someone is not alone. These small gestures carry more weight than we can imagine. You may not change the entire world with love, but you can change someone's world, and that is just as meaningful. Love is powerful because it is courageous. To love is to be vulnerable, to open your heart knowing it can be broken. To love is to put someone else before yourself, to sacrifice without expecting anything in return. It is not always easy. Love can be messy, it can be painful, and it can leave scars, but it is always worth it. because every risk taken in the name of love brings us closer to what it means to truly live. Without love, we merely exist. With love, we experience the fullness of being human. Think about the people who inspire us most: leaders, visionaries, heroes. At the root of their actions is love. Love for justice, love for freedom, love for people, love for the future. Love drives innovation. Love fuels perseverance. Love makes us fight for what we believe in. It is not weakness to love. It is strength beyond measure. It takes strength to forgive when hatred seems easier. It takes strength to stand by someone when the world walks away. It takes strength to love unconditionally, to love when it is not convenient, to love when it requires sacrifice. That is true power. Love is powerful because it multiplies. When you give love, it doesn't leave you empty. It grows. Love spreads, inspiring more love in return. A single act of love can ripple through countless lives, reaching people you may never even meet. Think of a teacher who loves their students enough to believe in them. That belief may spark a lifetime of success for a child who once doubted themselves. Think of a parent who loves fiercely enough to sacrifice everything for their family. That sacrifice builds generations of opportunity. Think of a friend who loves enough to simply be present during hard times. That presence can give someone the strength to keep going when they were ready to give up. Love multiplies, always. And love is not just something we give to others. It must also be something we give to ourselves. Self-love is powerful because it determines how we treat the world and how we allow the world to treat us. When you love yourself, you respect yourself, you value your worth, and you refuse to settle for less than you deserve. Self-love gives you the strength to walk away from toxic situations, to chase your dreams with confidence, and to stand tall even when the world tries to break you down. Loving yourself is not selfish, it is necessary, because you cannot pour into others if you are empty inside. Love is powerful because it is universal. It transcends language, culture, and distance. Two people from opposite sides of the world can share the same heartbeat of love. A gesture of kindness can be understood in any country, by any people, at any time. Love is the common thread that connects us all as human beings. It reminds us that despite our differences, we are more alike than we think. We all long for belonging, for connection, for someone to care. And in giving love, we remind each other that we are never truly alone. At the end of life, love is all that matters. When people look back, they don't regret the cars they didn't buy or the promotions they didn't get. They regret the moments they didn't spend with the ones they loved, the words they didn't say, the relationships they let slip away, and they treasure the love they gave and received, because in the end, that is the only thing that gives life meaning. Love makes the victories sweeter and the struggles bearable. Love is what makes life worth living, so never underestimate the power of love. Use it to build bridges, not walls. Use it to lift others, not tear them down. Use it to guide your actions, your words, your dreams. Love deeply, love boldly, love without fear of loss, because every act of love plants a seed that will outlive you. Love fiercely enough to change your own life, and love generously enough to leave a mark on the lives of others. Love is powerful. It can heal what is broken, restore what is lost, and create what has never been seen before. Love is not just an emotion, it is the greatest force in the universe, and when you live a life rooted in love, you live a life that cannot be forgotten.
Death reminds us of purpose. It is the one truth we cannot escape, the one reality that binds us all together. No matter who we are, where we come from, or what we have achieved, death is waiting for every one of us. And while that may sound grim, it carries within it the greatest lesson life has to offer. We are not here forever. Our time is limited, and that limitation is exactly what gives our lives meaning. Most of us live as if we will never die. We make plans years into the future. We put off our dreams until someday. We hold grudges as if we have infinite time to mend them. We treat life like it's permanent, forgetting that every second that passes is one we will never get back. Death is the reminder that someday the clock will stop, and when it does, we won't get a second chance to live the moments we wasted. And yet, death does not have to be feared. It can be our teacher. It can be the force that pushes us to live with urgency, to live with intention, to live with purpose. When we realize that our time is running out, suddenly the things that don't matter begin to fall away. Petty arguments, meaningless possessions, the opinions of others, they lose their grip on us. What matters becomes clearer. The people we love, the dreams we carry, the impact we make. Death reminds us of these things, not to discourage us, but to push us toward living a life that truly counts. Think of the greatest moments in history, the boldest acts of courage, the most lasting legacies. Behind them all was the knowledge that life is temporary. People who changed the world did so because they understood they didn't have forever. They acted with urgency, with conviction, with purpose. They refused to waste their short time on earth chasing things that didn't matter, and instead they gave themselves to causes that outlived them. Death was not their enemy, It was their motivator. When you accept death as part of life, you stop running from it and start learning from it. Every funeral, every obituary, every grave you pass is a reminder. One day that will be me. One day my name will be carved into stone. One day people will speak of me in the past tense. The question is not whether that day will come. It will. The question is, when it comes, what story will my life have told? What will I leave behind? How will I be remembered? That is what death is asking us every single day. What will you do with the time you have? Death reminds us that our purpose cannot wait. Too often we push our dreams aside, saying we'll get to them when the timing is right. But the perfect time never comes. There will always be reasons to wait, always excuses to delay, always fears to hold us back. Death removes the illusion of endless time. It forces us to confront the reality that if we don't start now, we may never start at all. It is the voice that whispers, "Do it while you can. Tomorrow is not promised." Death also reminds us of the importance of love. At the end of life, when people look back, they don't regret not buying more things or not working more hours. They regret the time they didn't spend with loved ones. They regret the words they didn't say, the apologies they didn't give, the love they kept locked inside. Death teaches us that love is the greatest purpose of all, to love deeply, to love openly, to love while we still have the chance. Because when the end comes, love is the only thing that matters. But purpose is not only found in love, it is also found in contribution. Death reminds us that the world will continue after we are gone. The question is, will it be any better because we were here? Will we leave behind something that lifts others up, something that inspires, something that outlasts us? This is why purpose matters. It allows us to create ripples that move far beyond our short lives. Death forces us to think about legacy, and legacy is built by living with purpose today. Imagine walking through a cemetery. Every stone you see marks a life once lived, a story once told. Some of those stories were long, some were short, but all of them ended. What separates one life from another is not how long it lasted, but what it stood for. Some names are forgotten because their lives left no mark. Others are remembered for generations because they lived with passion, with courage, with purpose. Death reminds us that we all get the same ending, but we don't all get the same story. The story depends on how we live now. Death also strips away the illusion of control. We don't know when our last day will come. It could be decades from now, or it could be tomorrow. And because of that, purpose becomes urgent. You can't keep waiting for the stars to align. You can't keep living on autopilot. You have to decide what matters most to you, and you have to start living it now. Death is the reminder that waiting is dangerous, because while we wait, life is passing us by. But there's another truth. Death gives value to life. If we were immortal, we would take everything for granted. We would have no reason to hurry, no reason to cherish moments, no reason to love fiercely. It is precisely because life is short that it is precious. A sunset is beautiful because it doesn't last. A flower is cherished because it blooms for only a season. Life is the same. Its fragility makes it priceless. Death teaches us to see that value and to stop wasting what we cannot keep. So how do we live with purpose in light of death? We begin by asking ourselves the hard questions. If today were my last day, what would I regret? What would I wish I had done, or said, or tried? If I knew the end was near, turn tragedy into fuel. Life will break you at some point. It will hand you loss, disappointment, betrayal, heartbreak, failure. None of us escape tragedy. Some wounds come suddenly, like a storm you never saw coming. Others come slowly, piece by piece, until you realize you've been carrying pain for years. And in those moments, when the weight of tragedy threatens to crush you, you have a choice. You can let it bury you, or you can turn it into fuel. Pain can destroy you, but it can also transform you. The fire that burns everything you thought you were can be the same fire that forges who you were meant to become. Some of the strongest people in history, the ones who inspired generations, were not spared from tragedy. They were defined by it. They faced pain so deep it could have ended them. Instead, they chose to use it as fuel to rise higher, push further, and shine brighter than they ever could have without it. Think about it. Every scar tells a story. Every tear that fell carried a lesson. Every heartbreak opened a door to deeper compassion. Every loss revealed what truly matters. Tragedy takes, but it also teaches. And when you decide to learn from it, to grow from it, to fight back with everything you have, tragedy becomes the fuel that drives you forward. When life knocks you down, it wants you to stay there. Tragedy whispers that it's over, that you're broken beyond repair. But you are not. You have more strength inside you than you realize. Every time you get back up, you prove to the world and to yourself that your spirit is stronger than your suffering. That is how you turn tragedy into fuel, by refusing to stay defeated, by deciding that the pain will not be wasted. It's easy to let tragedy make you bitter. It's easy to drown in self-pity, to point fingers, to let the pain close your heart.
But bitterness is a cage. It locks you inside your grief and robs you of tomorrow. Strength is choosing another way. Strength is saying, this tragedy hurt me, but it will not end me. It will not define me in weakness. It will define me in strength. Strength is letting the very thing that tried to destroy you become the reason you rise. Tragedy can strip away what doesn't matter and show you what does. When you lose something, you begin to understand the value of what remains. You stop wasting time. You stop living half-heartedly. You realize life is fragile and short, and you make the decision to live it with everything you have. That clarity is a gift tragedy gives us, if we are willing to receive it. Turning tragedy into fuel doesn't mean pretending the pain isn't real. It doesn't mean putting on a fake smile or denying the depth of your loss. It means honoring it, facing it, and then deciding to use it. It means carrying your pain with you, not as chains to hold you down, but as weights that make you stronger. Every time you move forward despite the pain, you build resilience. Every time you choose hope instead of despair, you build character. Every time you take another step, you prove to yourself that you are unbreakable. Some of the greatest art, the most powerful stories, the deepest songs, the boldest inventions, they were born from tragedy. People took their heartbreak, their failures, their losses, and they turned them into something that outlived them. They created beauty from ashes. They turned their pain into a voice that could heal others. That is the ultimate power of turning tragedy into fuel. Your survival becomes someone else's inspiration. Your resilience becomes proof that healing is possible. When you suffer, you have two options: to be consumed by it or to be changed by it. And when you let it change you for the better, tragedy gives you gifts it never intended to. It teaches you empathy. It deepens your wisdom. It reveals your strength. It wakes you up to the fragility of life and pushes you to live with urgency. It reminds you that you can endure more than you ever thought possible, and it pushes you to help others endure as well. Every time you face tragedy, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to despair, bitterness, and defeat. The other path leads to resilience, wisdom, and purpose. The tragedy is the same, but the outcome depends on your choice. Do you let it destroy you, or do you turn it into the fire that fuels your growth? History is filled with examples of people who turned tragedy into triumph. People who lost everything but refused to quit. People who carried unimaginable pain and yet used it to build something greater. Their stories remind us that tragedy does not have to be the end. It can be the beginning of something new. The same can be true for you. Your tragedy can become your testimony. Your pain can become your platform. Your brokenness can become the very thing that connects you to others and helps them heal. There are people out there who need to see you rise, who need to know that survival is possible. When you turn your tragedy into fuel, you are not just saving yourself, you are giving hope to others who are still in the fire. So when tragedy comes, and it will, don't ask why me, ask what now? What can I do with this pain? How can I use it to grow, to help, to rise? Because that's where the transformation begins. That's when tragedy loses its power to destroy you. That's when you take control of your story and turn it into something greater. The truth is, tragedy never leaves us the same. We either let it break us, or we let it build us. We cannot choose what happens to us, but we can choose how we respond. We can choose to turn the darkest moments into stepping stones. We can choose to let the fire refine us instead of consume us. We can choose to take the pain and make it the reason we keep fighting. Turn tragedy into fuel. Don't let your pain be wasted. Don't let it sit heavy on your shoulders until it crushes you. Let it ignite you. Let it drive you. Let it push you further than you've ever gone before. Take the heartbreak, the failure, the loss, and make it the very reason you succeed. Make it the fuel that carries you into your purpose, your destiny, your legacy. Because in the end, tragedy will visit us all. But what defines us is not the tragedy itself. It is what we choose to do with it. You can let it end your story, or you can use it to write the most powerful chapter of your life. And when you do, your tragedy will no longer be just pain. It will be power. It will be fuel.
Legacy is everything. At the end of our lives, when the applause has faded, when the money is gone, when the achievements are old memories, what remains is the imprint we leave behind on the world. Legacy is not about what you owned, but about what you gave. It is not about how loud you shouted, but about how deeply your voice was remembered. It is the story people tell about you when you are no longer here to tell it yourself. Every human being, no matter how big or small, leaves a legacy. The question is not whether you will leave one, but what kind of legacy it will be. Will it be one of kindness, strength, courage, and love, or will it be one of regret, bitterness, and wasted potential? Every decision you make, every word you speak, every life you touch is adding brushstrokes to the painting of your legacy. We live in a world obsessed with temporary success, fast fame, quick money, instant gratification. But those things fade, fame dies, fortune shifts, What truly remains is the way you made people feel, the lessons you taught through your actions, and the impact you left behind. A legacy is eternal because it is carried not in your hands, but in the hearts of others. Think of the names etched into history: leaders, inventors, teachers, artists, warriors, parents. They are remembered not because they lived forever, but because their influence outlived them. A scientist leaves knowledge that shapes future generations. A leader leaves courage that inspires nations. A parent leaves wisdom that guides children long after they are gone. Legacy is proof that one life can echo through centuries. But legacy is not only for the famous. Every person has the power to leave one. A teacher who believed in a struggling student leaves a legacy. A stranger who showed kindness in a moment of despair leaves a legacy. A parent who sacrificed everything to provide for their children leaves a legacy. You don't need millions of followers to change the world. Sometimes changing one life is enough, because that one life may go on to change thousands more. Legacy is everything because it forces us to live with intention. If you knew that every act was writing your story in permanent ink, would you act differently? If you knew your life was a letter to the future, would you choose your words more carefully? That's what legacy is, the bridge between your present and someone else's tomorrow. The truth is, we don't get to decide how long we live. Time is not ours to control, but we do get to decide what we do with the time we have, and that choice shapes our legacy. Some people live 90 years but leave nothing behind. Others live 30 and leave a mark that inspires generations. Legacy is not measured by length of life, but by depth of impact. When you understand that legacy is everything, you start to ask different questions. Instead of what can I get from this world, you ask, what can I give? Instead of how can I be remembered, you ask, how can I serve? Because the paradox is this: the more you focus on lifting others, the more unforgettable you become. People remember those who helped them rise, not those who only cared for themselves. We all know that death is inevitable, none of us escape it, but legacy is the way we become immortal. When your words continue to guide someone years after you're gone, that's legacy. When your sacrifices build a future for your children, that's legacy. When your actions spark courage in a stranger who never even met you, that's legacy. Death takes your body, but legacy carries your spirit forward. So how do you build a legacy? You start small. You live every day as though your choices matter, because they do. You choose integrity over convenience, kindness over cruelty, courage over comfort. You invest in people, because people are the carriers of your legacy. You don't need to be perfect, but you need to be intentional. Every day is an opportunity to write another line in the story you leave behind. Legacy is also about alignment. It's not enough to chase success, you must chase significance. Success is measured by what you achieve. Legacy is measured by what you give. A successful person may be admired, but a person of legacy is remembered. Success is temporary applause. Legacy is eternal respect. And when your life is over, respect will outlast applause every time. Think of your life as a ripple. The choices you make today create waves that travel far beyond your sight. You may never know the full reach of your legacy. A kind word you spoke might inspire someone to keep going, and that person might build something that changes the world. You may never see the full harvest of the seeds you plant, but that doesn't make them any less real. Legacy is faith that what you do today will matter tomorrow, even if you're not there to witness it. Legacy is everything because it gives us a reason to rise when life knocks us down. Pain becomes bearable when we know our struggle can inspire someone else. Sacrifice becomes meaningful when we know it creates opportunity for the next generation. Legacy transforms suffering into significance because it reminds us that our story is part of something bigger. When you live for legacy, you also live with gratitude. You recognize that you are standing on the shoulders of those who came before you. Every opportunity you have, every freedom you enjoy, every piece of knowledge you use, it exists because someone else left it behind. Legacy is not only about leaving something, it is about honoring what was given to you. So ask yourself, if your story ended today, what would your legacy be? Would people remember you for your kindness, your courage, your generosity, or would they remember excuses, wasted time, and missed opportunities? The answer is not written yet. As long as you breathe, you are still writing your legacy. Legacy is everything, because it outlasts you. It is the torch you pass on when your time is done, and that torch can burn bright or fade quickly, depending on how you live. Live with love, and your legacy will be love. Live with purpose, and your legacy will be purpose. Live with courage, and your legacy will be courage. Whatever you embody today becomes the gift you leave tomorrow. In the end, the greatest question is not, what did I own, but what did I give?
Not how much did I gain, but how many did I help. Not how long did I live, but how deeply did I matter. Legacy is everything. Build it with your choices, protect it with your integrity, strengthen it with your actions. Because when the final chapter of your life is written, it will not be your possessions, your titles, or your fame that people remember. It will be the legacy you left behind, the story of how you lived, the lives you touched, and the mark you made on this world. Live wisely, love deeply, give generously, and leave a legacy that echoes forever.